Story 17. Joseph's rise to power in Egypt. In Genesis 39, 141-57. When Joseph was sold to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh in Egypt, he worked hard and faithfully in Potiphar's house. God was with Joseph and blessed everything he did. Potiphar noticed Joseph's abilities and put him in charge of his entire household. But trouble arose when Potiphar's wife tried to tempt Joseph. She wanted him to do something wrong, but Joseph refused, saying, "How could I do such a wicked thing and sin against God?" This made her angry. The prison warden saw that Joseph was trustworthy and put him in charge of the other prisoners. One day, two of Pharaoh's servants, the cupbearer and the baker, were also in prison. Both had strange dreams, and Joseph offered to help. He said, "God can interpret dreams. Tell me what you dreamed." The cupbearer said, "I saw a vine with 3 branches. It budded, blossomed, and produced grapes. I squeezed the grapes into Pharaoh's cup and gave it to him." Joseph explained, "The 3 branches mean 3 days. In 3 days, Pharaoh will restore you to your position." The baker then shared his dream. "I had 3 baskets of bread on my head, but birds were eating from the top basket." Joseph said, "The 3 baskets mean 3 days. In 3 days, Pharaoh will have you executed." 3 days later, everything happened as Joseph had said. The cupbearer was restored to his position, but the baker was executed. Joseph asked the cupbearer to remember him and help him get out of prison, but the cupbearer forgot him. 2 years later, Pharaoh had 2 troubling dreams. In one, he saw 7 healthy cows being eaten by 7 thin, ugly cows. In the other, 7 full heads of grain were swallowed by 7 thin, scorched heads of grain. No one could interpret the dreams. Then the cupbearer remembered Joseph and told Pharaoh about him. Joseph was brought from prison and said to Pharaoh, "I cannot interpret your dreams, but God will give you the answer." Joseph explained, "The dreams mean the same thing. There will be 7 years of great abundance in Egypt, followed by 7 years of severe famine. You must store food during the good years to prepare for the famine." Pharaoh was impressed and said, "Can we find anyone like this man, in whom is the Spirit of God?" He put Joseph in charge of all Egypt, second only to Pharaoh himself. Joseph stored large amounts of grain during the years of abundance. When the famine came, people from all over came to Egypt to buy food. God had used Joseph's trials to prepare him for this important task, reflection for children. Joseph's story shows how God can use hard times to prepare us for something greater. Even when people hurt us or life feels unfair, God is always working for our good.